Morning, it's Halloween. And we're talking about our feelings and essential oils and boundaries and ways of understanding change when change comes in, unexpectedly throughout the day and kind of railroads our plan. And there's something that a friend of mine was talking about over the weekend at her yoga recovery meeting, and it was the need to be right. And what does the need to be right do for us? Because I know I love to be right. It makes me feel so good to be right. And I'm careful about what I say because I want to be right. And I'm thoughtful, before I say something or do something, because it builds my self-esteem when I'm right. And I think right before we click record, Deirdre and I were talking about that. And I heard you say, you don't like other people checking your work. And I think that that's a little bit of that's where your self-esteem comes from. Like what's driving you?
That's that hits the nail on the head. And so I just have different things in my life that I haven't like jobs that I haven't finished that are bugging me, and so I'm starting to feel like kind of a failure in different areas, and I'm calling myself a failure in different areas. And so when that happens, it just quantifies what I'm saying and thinking about myself.
Yeah.
So I need to stop the stinking thinking, for one thing.
I think I've got a really good tool to teach that's going to be helpful for this. I know that I'm totally guilty of this too. If I didn't work out yesterday, then I wake up feeling like, well, what's wrong with you, Kim? Why didn't you just do it? Like I'm breaking promises to myself. And I think what you're feeling is that you have built up promises to yourself that I'm going to get this job done today. And then when you don't, you've let yourself down again. Like maybe is that what you're feeling? Because that's what I feel.
Yeah, it is. It
Okay.
is.
So it's about being kind to yourself, because nobody's putting this pressure on you but you, right? These are your tasks, your job. So that means that you have the power to let it go. So something that I wanted to chat about was defining your boundary. And I think what we could do is we can put all of those tasks that we think we need to get done that are not who we are, and detach them. Like the fact that, there's a box you wanted to go through by yesterday. You wanted to have XYZ done by yesterday. Those are not who you are. Like if we were at your funeral right now, they wouldn't be like, well, she didn't finish the garage. Like no one's going to say that.
That's too funny, but you're right.
No one's going to say that. They won't be like, if I was dead, they're like, well, I know she had that last 10 pounds. She just never could lose it, could she? Like, no, they will not say that. So, like if we can put everything that is not us outside of our boundary. I'm going to read you this that I have. I can actually screenshot it and then send it to you if you'd like later, but it's from, let me put myself on spotlight, pin. Okay. It's from the Dynamic Emotional Integration Workbook from Carla McClellan. And this is the one that she's, the language of emotions lady. So this is defining your boundary. Having clear boundaries means knowing who you are and where you begin and end. When your boundaries are well defined, you'll create healthy separation between your own needs, beliefs, and emotions, and the needs, beliefs, and emotions of others. To define your boundary, sit or stand comfortably and reach your arms straight out to either side of you. If you cannot use your arms in this way, please use your imagination. Imagine your fingertips are touching the edges of a lighted oval-shaped bubble that are encompassing your private personal space. Reach your arms out in front of you, and then you will raise them above your head. Your boundaries should be an arm's length away from you at all points, in front of you, behind you, on either side of you, above you, and even underneath you. When you can imagine this oval-shaped area all the way around you, drop your arms and let them relax. Imagine yourself surrounded by the brightly colored bubble at that arm's length distance, as if you're a yolk standing inside the protective eggshell of your own imagined boundary. Get acquainted with your personal boundary. Learn where you begin and end, and inhabit this private and defined space where you can work with your own thoughts, sensations, ideas, and emotions. If you can imagine other people inside their own protective boundaries, you'll reinforce your own ability to maintain proper separations from others. Excuse me, I have a runny nose. Your boundary is sustained by your free-flowing anger and your shame. When you know how to work with your anger, it helps you observe and respond to boundary violations that come from the exterior world. While shame, anger's friend and partner, helps you observe and avoid boundary violations that may come from your own actions. Setting healthy boundaries gives you and everyone around you the space we all need to be our best selves. Signs of boundary impairment: enmeshment, uncontrolled empathy, self-silencing, self-neglect, overbearing behavior, self-aggrandizement, addictive or compulsive behaviors, intolerance, or bullying. So I find it interesting, I've had to set boundaries in different relationships in my life, but setting boundaries with myself is something to think about. Will I allow this feeling of shame go on when I know, okay, well, what is this about? Is this because I told myself I would get something done and I didn't? Then I'm gonna let it go and forgive myself and just do the next right thing, which today I'll just get it done, and then I won't have to worry about it tomorrow. It's all about action steps. I hope that's something that's helpful for you guys. Pardon me, those fall allergies. Something I've been trying to concentrate on is inviting my higher power, my God, into my thoughts. And I think I've mentioned this before, and it's called the art of experiencing. And a lot of our fears and emotions, it's fear of emotions that we are working on avoiding feeling. And we don't want to blow up, and we don't want to fall apart. So the art of experiencing is inviting more of that emotion in. Let me just read it. I think I have it on my computer. Let me just pull it up. I'll share my screen. Share. File. Feel your feelings. This one. Okay. Can you guys see it? Does it say feel your feelings? Yeah? Okay. What you want to do, it says we can process any of the full spectrum of emotion using this method without fear. When you feel a strong emotion, invite your higher power to stay with you during the experience. Know you're not alone, then breathe in more of the emotion you're feeling. So if you're feeling angry or let down or overwhelmed, then you're gonna invite more of it in. So in this moment, how am I feeling? I'm feeling actually pretty grateful to be here with you guys on Halloween. So I'm going to invite more of it in, but whichever word that pops up to you. We might pick an oil to do first. What I did is I took some the super mint and I put it all over my stomach. And that felt like what I needed this morning. And I'm going to put it on my chest. for this, because we're wanting to embody and be kind to ourselves. You could put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly and breathe. Soft jaw. If your butt's clenched, let that go. So whatever emotion you're feeling, you're going to invite your higher power to stay with you and then breathe more of it in. And exhale. So we're thinking about our own feelings and our own experience, but now think about all the people in the world, or maybe just the people in your neighborhood, what they're feeling, if they're feeling that same thing. So if you picked anger, feel the anger of your neighbors. Breathe it in and then exhale it out, and with compassion for your neighbors. And then breathe in all the people in, the state you live in, how they're feeling. So if they're feeling whatever emotion you're feeling, and breathe that in. And then exhale compassion for them. The breathing could also look like this, where you're, and then exhale away. And you just make it bigger and bigger. So it could be, all the people in the world that are feeling the same way that you're feeling, and then exhaling compassion for them. And what it does is it just completely grounds you and dissipates the strong emotion. So creating our perfect little boundary eggshell, and only including the parts of you that are you, not the tasks that are undone or anything physical of you, just the spiritual version, the yolk. That's what goes inside of your egg, your boundary. So when it helps when you close your eyes to be able to reset yourself. And I also had a little project that I feel is going to be helpful for a lot of us. I'm going to collect everyone's picture of when they were like 5, maybe 6. So everyone in my family. So I actually have a 5-year-old, so I can use a current one of him. And everyone else, I'm just going to put all the pictures of them when they were 5. I'm going to put it on the fridge, so that when there's something going on, I can go look at that and go, okay, I'm not mad anymore. Because look at that face. And I don't want to hurt that 5-year-old that's living inside the current version of that family member or that person, because that's who I'd be hurting if I retaliated, right? Or if I don't work on my own stuff. A lot of things that happen in me is I have anxiety and I withdraw from people, and then I'm not present. And that also hurts other people. That's something that my dad did to me, and it was hurtful because it made me feel like I didn't know him growing up. So I don't want to do that to other people. So I'm going to put the 5-year-old picture, and I don't know if that's supportive or not. Take it or leave it. I'm just thinking of ideas for you guys. And of course, using your essential oils to help with that, because it's like we have a whole box full of all these little like messengers, like our spirit guides. The plants are having a spiritual experience, just like we're humans having a spiritual experience, So invite your little friends in to help you. Today I'm picking up Supermint and Bergamot. Any thoughts or anything you'd like to share today?
I came on a little late, but I'm glad to be here. I don't know, I always feel like I'm kind of like in crisis. And but it's not bad things. It's just like I was trying to think of an emotion, like I was looking through the essential emotions app, trying to look up like people pleasing and I'm not sure of boundaries. Like I was trying to think of what's that emotion, or what is the thing when you find that you're people pleasing and then get mad when the people aren't that way towards you, like putting everyone else's needs above yours, but then people don't put your needs above theirs, then you get mad. So I really need to figure that out, because I keep coming to that point of expecting people, like being self-sacrificing, and then being mad when other people aren't self-sacrificing. So I'm just trying to think, what do I need to look up to try to deal with that? What is that called?
You're describing the codependent, the what do they call them? The attributes, the behaviors. Let me pull it up on my screen.
Okay.
Have you gone through the steps, like past step 4?
See, I mean, I read them, but I haven't like gotten a sponsor, or I just go to the meetings, and I haven't
Yeah.
really, gotten a sponsor and literally went through them.
You don't need a sponsor. You can just do it with a group.
Oh, okay. Because
With
I guess
group.
the group that I'm in, I mean, they have the meetings, but they may talk about a tradition 10, or they may talk about step 7, but it's not really in order or anything.
Well, the meeting doesn't count as a group.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
So, I mean, like I did the 12 steps with a codependent women's group. So there was like 4 of us that we just were like messaging back and forth, and we're like, we should just meet. So once a week we did a
Okay.
Zoom.
Yeah, I think I need to find one.
Yeah, you can, message someone, and you can talk to me. I can sponsor you, Shannon.
Really? Can you? For
Yeah.
real?
Yep.
Oh, I would love that.
Okay, let me put up codependency and see if it comes up, because I just sent that to somebody. Codependence. It was it's not coming up. Let's see.
You're spelling codependent wrong.
That's what I thought I was doing. I'm like,
CODE. CODE. There you go.
you know what I was doing? Because the name of Coda's group is CODA. So I was like, why is it not working? Patterns and characteristics. That's what we want. Is it this one? Open. Can you see it? Does it say patterns and characteristics?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, let me move this. What you're describing to me are some of the patterns and characteristics. And the reason why I asked, have you worked the steps, is because in step 6 and 7, 6 is where you identify these patterns and figure out where in your life you needed these patterns. Because, even just yesterday, I learned something new. So that means today I'm a little more skilled than I was yesterday. So when we go through and look at this, just remember that these patterns and characteristics were tools you needed to get by the younger, less skilled version of yourself. So we work on saying, okay, now where in my life did I need these patterns to survive? And where am I still using this now because I'm unwilling to let it go?
I see.
And then in step 7, we say, well, God, I need your help to let this go. And you send a prayer saying, I'm going to let this go. And it doesn't mean, oh, today they're all gone. It means I'm going to allow my higher power to remove them at his will.
Right.
And I just every day, if I can identify when I'm doing it and catch myself, and that's a recovery win, because it means I'm more aware, right?
All right.
Instead of being like, well, I don't know why I keep living this way. It's like, well, look, here's a list.
Exactly.
So the denial patterns, having difficulty identifying what they're feeling, minimizing, alter, deny how they truly feel. This is, many of us have a lot of these.
Mm.
Low self-esteem patterns, have difficulty making decisions. There's me. Judge what they think or say or do harshly as never good enough, are embarrassed to receive recognition, praise, or gifts. Compliance patterns are extremely loyal, remaining in harmful situations too long, accepts sexual attention when they want love, make decisions without regard to the consequences, give up their truth to gain the approval of others or to avoid change.
I really think that's like one of the major ones, that last one you just read.
Yeah.
Compliance patterns.
Interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you read them over and like, because I've read these many times, but I'll read them again and there's things, other layers coming out,
Right.
Control patterns, believe people are incapable of taking care of themselves, attempt to convince others what to think, do, or feel. This is a major one for me. I'm like, I know better than you. Duh. I'm right. Use recovery jargon and attempt to control the behavior of others. This is the gaslighting crap.
Mm.
Pretend to agree with others to get what they want. My sister does that. Use blame and shame to exploit others emotionally. Use charm and charisma to convince others of their capacity to be caring and compassionate. Wait, use charm and charisma to convince others. Huh. Oh God. Is that one me? Oh no. I am really caring. It's hard. Okay. Avoidance patterns, act in ways that invite others to reject shame or express anger toward them. Yeah. Right. Judge hard. It's like you start thinking of other people, but we have to remember when we read this list, think of yourself and where is it,
Mhm.
Avoid emotional, physical, or sexual intimacy as a way to maintain distance. Allow addictions to people, places, and things to distract them from achieving intimacy in relationships. I could see that because I tend to be a workaholic. So it allows me to avoid people.
Thank you for reminding me of that, because I have the little pocket version of that in the book form. So I could keep it in my purse.
Yeah. All this stuff is going to be in my workbook. So that's going to be done soon. I'm excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the patterns and characteristics chart. So then you look for the pattern and then how it hurt you and how it hurt others.
Mm.
Here's a blank one. So that's helpful to print that out. I can, if you want, I'll email it to you.
Please do.
You have it? You want it too, Deirdre? That's helpful. Another one that I really like, let me see, I might have to stop sharing and open it again. Did I keep it? Yeah. Does it say ACA promises?
Yes.
Okay. This is adult children of alcoholics or adversary.
Okay.
So my parents aren't what you'd call the like alcoholics. My mom doesn't even drink, but they were raised by alcoholics, both of them. So the assholeness was passed to them. And so I was raised by adult children of alcoholics. And so thus I am an adult child of alcoholics. And then these are the promises, and these are what gives me hope. We'll discover our real identities by loving and accepting ourselves. Our self-esteem will increase as we give ourselves approval on a daily basis. Fear of authority figures and the need to people please will leave us. Our ability to share intimacy will grow inside us. As we face our abandonment issues, we will be attracted by strengths and become more tolerant of weaknesses. We will enjoy feeling stable, peaceful, and financially secure. We will learn how to play and have fun in our lives. We will choose to love people who can love and be responsible for themselves. Healthy boundaries and limits will become easier for us to set. Fears of failure and success will leave us, and we will intuitively make healthier choices. With help from our ACA support group, we will slowly release our dysfunctional behaviors. Gradually, with our higher powers' help, we will learn to expect the best and get it.
Mm.
Oh, there's so many in there, right?
Mhm.
That these promises and the promises in other fellowships as well, but this one specifically really hits me. That makes me want to do more of the program. This is why I stay,
Mm.
because I want the promises, you know. So Shannon, can I say something about something you said?
Sure.
Feeling like the chaos all the time, you know, it sounds to me like the mold you were given from birth to 18, you know, like you live in
Mhm.
chaos. And when we live in chaos, do we feel more busy? Do we feel more useful because we're struggling?
Mm.
Like, I wonder if that's something. I don't know. So I've
You
heard
know,
other people
what's
say
really interesting about that, the funny thing about all this is when I'm in these sessions and everything, in my opinion, I've been married for 23 years and I dated my husband for 3 years. In my opinion, in the marriage is when all this has happened. So like my childhood and growing up and going to college and moving to Atlanta. But in my marriage, that is where all this has played out. Like all these yeah, like it's unbelievable.
yeah.
So even though, I mean, I guess I can dig deep and say, oh, my parents divorced when I was 8. But the 26 years I've been in this relationship, almost everything can be, because I wasn't this way, like, yeah. So it's like, wow, like, man, this really has taken a toll. So that's just a flip way, because I know sometimes we kind of go back to our childhood, but some of us, it might be the marriage, it might be that toxic relationship or whatever that has, caused us to kind of have to navigate through all these things.
Yeah. I mean, there's pieces of what you're saying that I feel deeply. Um, but I mean, like I got married at 21,
Mm.
and how old were you when you were dating your husband?
About 25.
I mean, we spend our adult lives in our marriage, but we learned it from somewhere. Our
Hmm.
reactions, the wanting people to do the right thing and they don't.
Hmm.
That comes from somewhere.
Hmm.
When we grow up in the church and they say this is how a person should be, and then we go out in the world and other people don't do that. We're like, it's one of the things that I have a joke with my mom, because I'll tell my mom a story about someone I know and she'll say, but why would they do that? And that's her thing. She'll say, but why would they do that? It's because of her mold when she was raised, birth to 18. That's what people should do. That's what's normal for her. So what's normal for me, like that's what people in the program will say when, especially for adult children of alcoholics, they'll say, well, that was normal. That's what like many therapists that I've talked to, they say people come in and say, I had a normal childhood.
Hmm.
Everything was fine. And then they start talking about it and they're like, no, that's not fine.
So, right.
You're like, no, that was actually pretty weird. That shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so we think, no, no, no. Cause I have other friends that are in recovery too. And they're like, well, I don't like going to therapy because they always want to talk about my childhood. And I'm like, well, it's because there's something there. It's how you respond and what your expectations of what other people should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's hard to hear and it sucks. But our program is taking responsibility for our stuff. And we have to let go of other people's behavior. We have zero control over other people's behavior. We can only control our own. So, like, I know how hard it is when you're going through something and you're spending more time with someone else. It's like you're watching them, but it's a mirror of what we need to work on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what I've learned from listening to other people talk and spending a lot of money on therapy.
Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. I would use your tools and oil up and start looking at some of this stuff. I'll send you the ACA promises as a beacon of hope,
Mm-hmm.
and the patterns and characteristics. What's nice is when you identify them, and then you can kind of set a let me stop share. You can set a kind of a ritualistic thing. What I did is I floated in my pool and I talked to God
Mm-hmm.
for, let me pin myself. And
You
I,
look
and
really
I said,
jazzy today, by the way. Your hair
hey,
is clean. You look like you got something on your lips and got your earrings and your necklace.
yeah, I just got this, and
Pretty
it's like one of those like chakra ones.
nice.
So, and I need it for my throat because that's where I hold a lot of emotion.
Okay.
And I tell you what, my pain is so much better. And this is where I've been holding so much of it for years and years and years. And I know everybody's got like their spot in their body that they hold it. And I know that it has to do with those emotions that we were talking about. Letting go of those patterns and characteristics makes a humongous difference. And I think I'm going to challenge you guys. Let's put up everyone's picture in your household, 5 years old, on the fridge. Your husband, all the kids, put them up. The family, your mom. I'm going to go to my mom's house and go get. I was looking on her wall yesterday because I went to her house. She's not home. I'm like, that. There was a picture of her, I think about 9. I'm like, no, I need a smaller one, a younger one. So, because there's people that we just get so pissed off at, and we're like, have to look at their picture and go, they're doing the best they can with the tools they have today, right? And if they haven't looked at their stuff, and that's a missed opportunity for them, but that's none of our business.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow.
yeah. Well, I think I'm going to put some rose on now. Oil up, my friends.
I've been grabbing, well, right now, this morning I was using Northern Escape and I layered it with the Supermint and it was really nice.
With Supermint?
Yeah, I layered it with Supermint, my
that sounds good.
Northern Escape. But I've been going through what we were discussing for a few days, and I've been gravitating towards like cedar wood and things like that. And I think trees give you strength, is what they do.
Love those trees. I'm feeling like we need to breathe.
I feel like I just discovered this Northern Escape. It's funny. I've had this for, I don't know, since it came out, but it just makes me feel good.
That's what's nice about having your oils organized in one spot, is when you need support, you can come and sit and just kind of intuitively pick the right one. And I keep like all my recovery books are in my office, in my shelf over there. And I just go, okay, what do I need to read today? And I go and I pick one. And that helps, set myself up for success. So you guys,
That's one thing I need to do. I haven't organized my oils at all. My room is like, I don't know where anything is. So
well, I
that's one of
wouldn't
my
worry
things to
about
do.
it. Don't add it to your shame list, okay?
I just know that I'll be so relieved when I can when I actually organize that. But now that I'm not struggling to plant the 300 bulbs that I ordered, I don't know why I did that. Well, I kind of know why I did that, but I didn't realize what I was doing when I did it. So I'm not struggling with getting everything outside ready so that it doesn't freeze. And I've kind of let some of that go because it's been in the 20s at night here.
Yeah, and the wind, right? The wind chill.
Yeah, and it's so dry up here because we're at 20 feet altitude, so we're high. It's just dry.
My cousin, she's been living in Colorado at that altitude for, 20 plus years. And she's
Mhm.
got blue eyes. And now she has something called pinguecula. It's these like bumps on her eye. And
Oh my gosh.
it's from, I think you have blue eyes, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm a redhead.
That's why I'm mentioning it, is because her optometrist told her you need to wear sunglasses anytime you go outside, especially with blue-eyed people in high elevation. Otherwise, you'll end up with stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I wear glasses all the time anyway, and they do have the UV coating on them and they turn dark.
Good.
And I try to wear a hat. I'm really uncomfortable if I don't have shade on my eyes because it's so bright up here. It's beautiful though.
Jen, wish I was a buffalo roaming in the. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think it'd be fun to be a buffalo for the day. Just to see.
I know they don't have real big brains, so you'd be like a day off, right?
Oh
You wouldn't
yeah,
be
I'll take
processing all
it.
this stuff.
Mhm.
But I know it's like the life of these animals. I'm trying to ward off squirrels away from my bird feeders. And so I threw in the towel and I actually bought corn on the cob for them. So thank God goodness that they like that better than the bird seed.
That's good.
Um,
I've heard that if you have your husband pee around things, it deters, or put male hair clippings around things. Because the animals are like, oh no, it's a male that's marked its territory. I don't know if you want your husband to pee on your bird feeder.
I was trying to figure out if that's what you really said.
I'm like, have your husband pee on all of your ornamental gardening.
Well, so the gardeners here put cayenne in with their bulbs, but my sister, who's been dealing with deer and critters in Connecticut forever, she puts down, you can buy dried blood, and they don't like that, and it's good for the plants. I know.
Okay, it's interesting.
It's
I didn't
processed.
know that
so
one.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go to like a slaughterhouse and say, "Could I have your blood?"
Yeah. Do you
Because it's Halloween, right?
Can I have a bucket of slaughter blood, please?
Oh gosh. Oh.
Well, so on Wednesday, I'm gonna do the jaw release stuff that I've been learning. So it's a cranial release. So we're gonna go through some of the bones. I'm gonna teach you how to work your ears in all different directions. So we're gonna get some really nice space in your skull. Yamina has been talking about how we're born, and you can like start feeling all the little sutures in your brain, and we'll talk about oils for that, and of course for MetaPower and all that. But I'm so happy you guys came, and thank you for.
I think I got a notification for this meeting last Wednesday. Is that what that was for? Was the Yamina one? Do you have a specific time for that?
It's the same link and it's the same time, 9:30 a.m. PST, or I guess your mountain and your Eastern.
10:30. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same time, same link. It's on Wednesdays. And it's still talking about using all the metabolism stuff, but as my gift to everyone doing the program. And I know how we feel like once we start feeling better, we want to start working out. And I want to help everybody kind of get their structure in alignment so that they don't get injured. You know, that's what I want to work on. Now I'm like, okay, I'm not in pain, but I know that I still have some patterns in my structure that I could get hurt. So I'm going to work on that. Now I have the motivation, not since I'm not in pain, you know? So I'm
Cool.
sharing. Yeah. But you guys have a beautiful
Same
day.
channel, different time. Same channel, different time.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye. Thanks for the
You
class.
too.
You're welcome.